press pause and answer the question.
This one's a little bit more difficult. So it's the same history instructor. He's teaching 2 sections of the same course. And he notices that in the first section, the mean was 78%. We don't have to worry about the median. That's actually not relevant to this question. So the average in the first class was a 78. And when grading the exams from the second section, he's graded 16 of the exams, but he has 4 left grades. So there's 20 students total. He's graded 16. And so far, he's kind of keeping a running tally of his mean, of his average. And his running tally says that he has a 74% average. He's got 4 more to grade. And he's really rooting for the second section to be at least equal to the first section. So what's the worst grade that one of his last 4 students could score on the exam and still have a class mean in the second section that's at least as good as the mean from the first section? All right, let's unpack that because it's pretty complex. All right, our goal is to have an average that's equal to our first section, and our average in the first section was 78%. So we need an average of 78, and we have 16 of the exams are graded, and the average so far is a 74, and we have 4 more to grade. And so what is let's say we're about to grade the next exam, and what's the worst he can do, this student can do, and still get us to a 78 at the end? And the answer is this one, it's 76%. So this, the worst we can do on one of the final ones and still get to 78 at the end is to have a 76. Let's figure out why. All right, let's say we have 4 left to grade. If we're trying to figure out the worst this person can do and still get the whole class average to a 78, then we know that the other 3 must get 100. In other words, we have 4 left, and we're trying to increase the average, and we're trying to figure out how bad can this 17th person do and still get us to where we need to go. So we have to assume that the last 3 are going to be 100s, and that we just have this one that we're trying to figure out how bad it can get. So it kind of looks like this. We can just assume that all 20 of the first section of the class, all 20 get 78. Like every single person gets a 78. That's easy to kind of visualize that we have an average of 78. Now, if all 20 of the second class got a 74, well, we would have an average in the second class of 74, but we need to bring that up. We're trying to bring that up to a 78. So we need some of them to do better than they were doing. So we can say, okay, these last 3 are going to get to 100, and that's going to bring our grade up to something higher than 78. But how bad can this next person be? How bad can this next person be to actually drag the average grade of the section down so that it's 78? And we're going to do it like this. We're going to say, okay, we have, in our first class, we have 20 students, so we can take the 78% that the first section average was, and we can multiply it by the 20 students to figure out the total points, because we need to have at least as many total points in our second section of 20 students as we do in our first section. So we have 78%, 78 points times 20 students is equal to 1,560 total points. That's our goal. Thus far, the students in the second section have 74 points times 16 students, and that gives us 1,184. So if 3 of the remaining students score a perfect score of 100%, because that's what we're assuming. So then that gives us our current total points, which is 1,184, plus the 300 additional points we're going to get from our stellar final 3 students. And that's going to give us 1,484 total points. So we're trying to figure out the lowest score for that 20th student, or in this case, our 17th student, whichever way we want to look at it. And so we need to get to 1,560 total points. And right now we're at 1,484 total points with the 3 100s. And that gives us a difference of those two of 76%. So that's our answer.